Hey gang, today I'm going to show you how to make the cutest little Easter egg wreath you ever did see made of real eggs. So first we're going to start with some natural staining agents. But first some rubber gloves are going to be required. We're going to start with some raspberries and some blueberries and some mustard. It's going to stain very different than you might think. I didn't know when I started this process what to expect, but I was very pleasantly surprised. So first I'm going to go in, after putting on my gloves, with some blueberries. And I'm just kind of globbing the blueberries from the Dixie cup on the egg. And I'm going in with some raspberries next, kind of mixing the colors together a little bit. And I'm going to set it aside and go on to the next. Now, you could use plastic eggs, but they're not going to take to the stain, this type of stain, like the porous shells of a real egg. So you're not going to get it to stain the same way, if at all. So the regular eggs are required for this. All you do is you poke a little hole in the top of them, and you can do that with a pen and then slightly make the hole bigger just by simply making small circles with the pen or the point of a blade would work. The eggshell is very easy to make a hole in. So then you just make one on each end and you blow out the egg from the other end. It's very simple. Now what you just saw was me doing the mustard on the yellow egg, and I combined the mustard and the berries and trying to come up with some variation in color here. And you'll be quite surprised at the colors that come out on these after they've been heat sealed. It just is nothing that I thought was going to happen, but it's so pretty. Trust the process, as they say, right? Now I'm doing 6 eggs, and this will be the last one. I tried to come up with a variety of color tones on each egg so they weren't all the same. And I think I succeeded. The next thing we need to do is take our heat tool and seal in some of that color. If I was just to wipe it off, it wouldn't have taken the color at the way it did. So you want to just get in there and heat it up really good on both sides. Make sure you turn them over well and get them heated. And then you're just going to take a little damp paper towel and you're going to wipe them back very gently, just getting any of the particles of the berries or whatever. Because all I did was smash those berries in a Dixie cup. So those berries were still in there. And you can pulverize them if you want in a food processor, but I didn't do that. I just went with the au naturel berry. And so I'm wiping them off pretty well so that there's no lumps or bumps on them, right? So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to go in with a mixture of Duraclear and triple thick. Now I'm going to use 3 parts Duraclear to 2 parts triple thick, and that's going to seal them and make them have a pretty little shine to them and making them a little more durable because eggshells, they are definitely fragile. And they'll still be fragile, but they'll be a little more durable for you. Now, really speeding this video up for the purposes of time, so you don't have to sit and watch 6 eggshells dry, but just getting in there with the Duraclear and the triple thick and putting it on with a soft brush, then drying it in between and repeating the process. The colors are amazing. You really can't see on this part of the video. At the end of the video, you'll see the finished product in a little bit clearer format, but I wish you could see it now. It's just so subtle, and the colors are very soft and muted, almost like a watercolor effect. And the wreath that I'm going to be making with the bunny is kind of a watercolor looking bunny. Not sure where I got him. Maybe a follower sent him to me. And it's just really storybook-esque, if you will. I just love the way it ends up looking. So here is what we're going to do. We got this little tiny wreath from the Dollar Tree and a little tiny round that I painted white. There's the bunny. See how storybook-esque it looks? I'm just going to Mod Podge it onto the round wooden disc and apply it with some Mod Podge over top. It's a little rice paper. That's what this is. And you can use a napkin or you can use a transfer or whatever you want in the center of your disc, or paint if you're a painter. I'm going around it now with some ink from Tim Holtz, just to kind of give it a little vintage look. It's in vintage photo, so we're giving it a little vintage look, and going over the whole disc with some more Mod Podge and then drying it up. After it's all dried up, we're going to pull out our Dollar Tree burlap ribbon with the lace on top. And I'm just pulling out a little strand of it. I didn't measure or anything like that, but I'm just starting by looping it over this small wreath. This is the little 6-inch wreath, I believe, from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going around and around. And each time I go around, I put a little hot glue on the other piece of the burlap ribbon, and I'm pushing it down into the concave spot in the wreath, because that's where we're going to end up putting the moss and the eggs inside that little concave spot. So going around and around through the magic of sped up video, ta-da, we are at the end of this wreath. And now I'm just gonna make sure everything's fitting together properly the way I'm gonna want it to go. And what I decided to do is just get this little disc on the wreath first. First thing I do is I use my E6000 glue, and I put like little stations all the way around, and then little stations of hot glue for that quick grab. And while the hot glue is holding it on temporarily, the E6000 will hold it permanently. Now I'm grabbing reindeer moss, the little green reindeer moss bags that you get at the Dollar Tree, and I'm just using some hot glue to go all the way around the sides and pushing it down into that little concave area, because that is where I'm going to nest 6 of those eggs all the way around the sweet little wreath. And as you can see, it's a very simple process, just adding the moss and then the egg nested on top, and repeat all the way around the wreath. And I'm leaving a little section at the bottom and at the top for a hanger to be applied. And so if you didn't want to hang it, you could put it in an easel. And boy, is that moss messy, but it's so worth it, let me just tell you. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to go in between each of the little eggs. We're going to add a little bit of sprigs of faux baby's breath, just to give it a little spring-like effect and give it a little more of a something-something effect. And we're going to add a kind of a little bouquet of them at the bottom. But I'm just going in between the eggs and putting a little bit of the baby's breath, and then at the top I left that so we can put a little hanger in there. Now this is just little, what I call rickrack, that you get at Hobby Lobby on a roll. It is little tiny rosettes, and I know you can't see it really well here, but you will in the end video. I'm just taking little bits of this rickrack and making the eggs look a little bit more special, and putting just one strip with hot glue over the eggs and making them beautiful. And in the end, I think all the little details is what makes a piece special. I love to add and add and add. And then when I think it's all done, I add some more. Because that's what I do. Okay, now we're ready to put on the hanger at the top. Now what I find I need to do is make a little bow that matches the wraparound that you don't really see any of the burlap ribbon being wrapped around. I just used that so that it would be a solid place to put the moss and the egg, but I'm using the little burlap ribbon just wrapped around itself once and then tied in the middle to make a little tiny bow. And I leave the where I tie it with the twine, I leave those long because that's going to be the hanger when I poke 2 holes that are going to go through the top of the wreath. Now I put a little bit of hot glue at the tip there because it makes it easier once it's dried to push it through the wreath. And once I get it through on one side, I do the same to the other and push it through. And once that's through, I can tie a knot in the back and I've got a cute little twine hanger. And like I said, you don't have to hang it, but it would be cute hung on a little doorknob. Or if you didn't want to hang it, you could put it in an easel back and set it on the child's dresser or on a mantle. And I made a little gingham black and white bow to go on top. And there you have it, folks. There she is in all her glory. I think she turned out really super cute, and I hope you will give this a try. It would be a fun project to do with the kiddos. Give them some rubber gloves and let them have at it. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you'll give it a try. Please follow me on all the social medias: Facebook, Pinterest, YouTube, TikTok, and Etsy. Now watch this up close and personal final TikTok video. I love this sweet little Easter wreath so much that I'm going to give it to my great-grandbaby as soon as she gets here for her very first Easter. I love how the Easter eggs turned out. I dyed them with actual foods, berries and mustard, and I think it turned out really super cute, almost like a storybook. In essence, I just love the little details and especially this sweet little rabbit.